Hey everybody, welcome back to Champ and Sons and our Planet Coaster Austin Adventure Park series as we are putting in a new ride today to kind of complement our one from the last episode, which was our winged coaster. And I decided to go with a go-kart track in this one. I think most theme parks generally tend to have a go-kart track. In Austin, it seems fairly fitting that there would be at least one, not only because of Circuit of the Americas, but there's also things like K1, speed racing carts, and all that stuff. And then we also have Austin Parks and Pizza, which has go karts and everything too. So it seemed fairly fitting to put this in here. The track layout, it is a rather simple layout, as you can see. Most go-kart tracks generally tend to be kind of simple. In reality, they are. So what kind of makes the carts is everything that goes on around them. And one couple things I really wanted to put into this was tunnels. I enjoy having tunnels over these tracks. One, I like building them. Two, it also lets you build a bridge for certain rides that go in. Um, and I think overall aesthetically, they look pretty dang decent for what we have so far. Right now, I'm just kind of adjusting the entrance and the exits, kind of depending on really what I'm going to put around it. Um, on the closest side to the test pilot coaster, it is going to be the exit. Coming out on the other side is going to be the entrance. And in an ideal world, we'll have a path going right up the middle of the park, essentially. Which takes you right by there, so it feeds into the go-kart track. And the way those things are kind of done, what you see a lot of is go-karts being essentially extra money for theme parks. And so that's kind of one of the things I was thinking of. Now, what kind of design am I going for here? I'll be honest, my intentions going into it were to have more of a, I guess, like car garage kind of thing, like a repair garage kind of, I guess you could say, station more or less. But that was my intention behind it, and I think it comes off pretty well in the end. It did get a little tricky for me here with the dang old entrance path. You see, kind of had to put a shockingly quick little bridge right there. Which I think later on we will develop that into another tunnel. We will have two tunnels on here. You've seen both bridges kind of go in, and so that's going to be the two tunnels that we have. Now, right now, it's just kind of working on, I guess, the station essentially for the entrance and giving it that setup of a car garage, repair shop type of thing idea behind it. It is really what I was going for here. And like I said, I think it comes out pretty well for the intended on the entrance side. On the exit side, I did want it to have more of a raceway type of feel. So we will actually be building in bleachers and things like that going in on the opposite side of where we're working at. And you'll see that come in here a little bit later. I do try to put in a lot more focus on more kind of decorating that goes into the queue line essentially. So you'll see me placing down some cars, and it's, for some reason I always thought it lined up with the terrain, but no, definitely not. So you do have to go in and move those around. And then the stupid tires, I hate trying to put these dang tires on. That gets kind of annoying as it is. We got to slide them into place each. Yeah, I know they stick into the ground. Can't say I'm too concerned about it. If anything, it looks more like a flat tire, which, hey, that would be in the shop, right? If you had a flat tire that hectic, or your tires were bouncing out of your car like they look like right now, you would definitely at that point take your car in to have it looked at. And so that's kind of what we're doing, is just doing some basic decorating here, car garage, repair shop type of decorating. I'm going into this queue line. Like I said, one of the things coming into this park, it's not going to be heavily themed areas. I said that in the pirate area was pretty dang heavily themed. But either way, it's not like over the top theming. That's not really what I consider my strong suit is at. So I do try to put in a good amount. Um, Basically try to push myself as much as I can in that area. And so that's kind of what you're seeing us go with here. And now here comes the path covers, ground cover essentially. Um, it is a car garage, right? It's going to be a basic concrete type of ground. It's not going to be anything that gets too excessive. And a basic fence. I almost put the ground cover in first before I put in the fence. So before I covered up the whole pathway and lost sight of where it was, I went on ahead and got these railings put in to basically kind of fence stuff off from the public, so that, you're not having line jumping going on, people just messing with all the decorations and everything that you have inside the building. That can be kind of costly. So that's kind of what I'm working on here, and you see this kind of beginnings going in, really trying to find sneaking open areas on these paths and get this stuff laid out. It was pretty time consuming, and as I've always said, there's kind of a reason I don't always go that detailed. One, I don't have the patience for it. Two, well, really, it's just I don't have the patience for it. Let's be honest, you got to have some serious patience to do some of that type of decorating stuff. I just needed to make sure we got everything as lined up as best we could. And I like doing that, sticking it up against the building. Some of these tools, they just work out better that way. Get them up against the building, they're more level off, especially when you have kind of the block pattern for the pathway going and all that. So we're going to finish kind of getting this in on this side, the railings, the floor coverings in on this side. And then we will also be working on the bridges, which I believe you should see the bridges go in. I'm not going to lie, it's been a while since this has been recorded. May not. But hey, it'll be a surprise to both of us if it is in there. Either way, at the end of this episode, you will see the drive-through of the track, both tunnels, day and night, so you can see what they look like. We do try to put plenty of lighting on there, and I think it turns out pretty well for what we are trying to do. And after a little bit of I guess I'd say a brain fart kind of moment, we get back to work. That's kind of what that was right there. That little pause in time, it seemed like. So we're going to finish up getting these railings in. Like I said, it takes a lot of time to do this stuff. It's kind of been one of the reasons why I've avoided it for the most part. And some of these things I didn't put fences on, generally because in a car garage, you're going to have the openings for the cars to pull in. It's not going to be all railings. I didn't want to block off all those pathways, you know what I mean? That's kind of what that boils down to. And so that's kind of the layout for the entrance section. We're going to be taking a look at the exit section here in a minute. Right now, I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to bring the pathway around and connect it. I actually deal with that at a later time. You'll see that come into play, I don't know, another 4 or 5 episodes, actually. That's how much content I actually have recorded, right? I have that much recorded, I just haven't been able to do it. A lot of stuff been going on outside of video games that kind of takes up that time. One of the biggest things I'll say is coaching Little League. My goodness, how much time that takes. But hey, it's all for fun, and it's all, my kids' baseball team. Once the springtime kicks off, we get real busy in my household. So that is what it is, and we're back into it right now, and I plan to be able to kind of keep into this for at least a little while longer. I said I was going to be building some bleachers in here. We're going to do that in a couple different sections, basically, right? So you see the first main one that we did, the basic block section, and then we have the second little box out here. And that's, if you think about it, whenever you see races, whether it be a Formula One or NASCAR, they got, multiple seating sections that kind of go around the track. And I wanted people to be able to give it that feeling of, hey, you're being watched from essentially all sides. So not just the green flag area, but everywhere else as well. And so we're seeing this go in, and this is kind of similar to, what was that? The guy who did the cedar flags. I think it's Deke FTW, I think is what it's called. double check me on that one, but I'm pretty sure. And I know he puts in a go kart, and that's really where this kind of inspiration came from, is seeing how well that was done. And you want to. I tell you, I see those ideas, and trust me, a lot of it's way better than what I can come up with. So I do my best to not just straight up, I guess, steal it. I'm gonna give people credit where credit is due, and so that's kind of what I'm doing right here. Is just following on and what that man did, and um, making these bleacher seats out of these wooden. Uh, God, I guess they are what, wooden boards. Uh, Railroad ties, essentially, is what they look like more to me. And this was a hell of a process. I'll tell you all that much. So we are going to start changing the colors. You'll see some of the clipping through that gets kind of annoying, but hey, it is what it is. Planet Coaster. It's all in good fun. And we get this stuff kind of put in, actually, once I got into the flow, for as long as it did take to do, and it takes a while to get into the flow. Once I did actually get into the flow, it started to go pretty smoothly and pretty quick. That did kind of surprise me there in the end, as we get through doing it. So this is going to be a quicker episode. We are going to get to the playthroughs here in just a quick minute. And that little flash did remind me to let y'all know to hit that subscribe button if y'all have not already. And definitely, if you do like go-karts and you like this build and you like today's shorter episode, give me a thumbs up. That really does help out the channel, and I greatly appreciate everything that y'all do for us here at Champ & Sons. So we are going to finish up these bleachers, and we're going to jump into these playthroughs right about now for our new go-kart track called The Circuit. And actually, right quick before we get into those drive-throughs, let's take a little look around at what we did complete. You see some of the foliage there blocking some stuff off from the path. But I wanted to kind of show off the bleacher section did finally get finished. This was the final product. Like I said, I put a little roof over it, more or less, and some of the lighting to try to light stuff up. And you see some of these finer decorations around the concrete covers. The cars kind of parked off to the side. I did not realize those lights were still on. Oh well. Either way, I think it's pretty well lit up. You see the bridge that leads from this current area over to what will be a new section here at the back of the park. And this was kind of a tougher build, filling in some of these gaps, especially with the concrete floor pieces going all the way around. And coming over here, we are going to take a quick little look before we hop into the go-kart with the drive-through. Here, as we do kind of go down, you see some of those lights that stick out. And I wanted to keep it kind of forested, blocked off. I like how the queue line for Test Pilot bumps right up against this. And it has some pretty sharp turnarounds. So I do like how this go-kart track really did turn out. I think it looks exceptionally well. Some of those trees are kind of in the way. That may be a hazard, but we'll have people sign a waiver before they get in the cart. I think you got to do that anyways. Sign a waiver in case you get hit in the face with a couple branches or something. Can't be suing me. And then here's our other one that closes out the entrance, or the entrance path goes over, and this will actually close out the race with a string of lights that go right over the middle. The sides don't look to be completed. I did that on purpose. It's a little much when you have just all the blocks going in across. I'm making a flat roof. Plus, I think for cost-wise, it would probably make sense to do it in that design. So here it is, taking a look at it at night. And this is coming around to that final turn right here at the very beginning of the track. Like I said, it turns out pretty dang well for a go-kart. This is one of my first go-kart tracks I've actually built in Planet Coaster. I think about doing it. Some of them come off kind of wonky. We want to put hills in them and all that. Just doesn't seem to really be all that realistic in that sense. So I like how this one turns out. We're going to go ahead and get ready for a test drive here in just a minute. Coming out around, just taking a look at the outside first. We do have people coming around this way. Here is that bridge I told you. It goes into a new section, which we'll get to in about 4 or 5 episodes at this point. The concrete path covers leading out to a new area. I was kind of baffled as far as what to do with this section, but it figures itself out. The park builds itself, essentially. You know what I mean? Just feel it out, see what it wants to do. That's kind of how we handle that area. And so this is the overall top view. We have people finally getting in these go-karts. And so, yeah, I believe we are going to now jump into it. Now I will let y'all finish this drive with the peeps here, and I will see y'all in the next episode, everybody. So as always, stay safe, and well, you guys know how it goes by now, right? Later, y'all.